Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. That interchangeable. Right. This is the next installment of Thursday Fry Up, and you guys seem to really like this show. So and its format and stuff like that. And I really enjoy it as well. As we know, it can be a little bit more unpredictable, maybe slightly more risque, even. Maybe even a touch more controversial in some ways as well. But I'm very happy to have you here with me this evening. I've got a post-it note here just to remind me to say some bits and bobs. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for all of the birthday wishes. It's so sweet, so kind. You would have seen me on the last Hogely where it was Lady G and I was absolutely melting. It was absolutely boiling, but you know, Puerto Rico is an amazing place. But I must have a little rant. I must have a little rant. The prices. Oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. But let me tell you, they're saying that inflation in the States is some of the lowest in the developed countries. And I'm sorry, I have to call BS on that. And I'm sure you guys will agree. I was shocked. For me, it was like choosing between either cursing or breaking wind with indignation at the prices. Now, look, admittedly, look, when I went through New York airport, of course, it is airport prices. Yeah, we understand that. But honestly, a hummus baguette like that, $15. $15. And also as well, I have to add as well, now, obviously, I was in Puerto Rico, which of course, there's a debate whether or not it should be a state or not. And I learned a lot of stuff in the historical tour that I did in Puerto Rico about what's going on in terms with the United States mainland and all of this, that, and the other. But anyway, many parts of it was fabulous. But I was astounded at the cost because you guys will well know now, apparently this is something that started during or after COVID. So you remember before with the tipping, it was like, from what I remember back in the day, 5%, 10%, 15%, maybe 20%. Now it's 18%, 20%, 25%, or 30%. Now, come on, really? I mean, if you're going to give a 30% tip, that needs to come with a massage, and the plates need to be floating down the River Nile or something like that. You know what I mean? But for me, what stood out for me was I really do believe it's price gouging. I really do believe it is price gouging. There is inflation, but it can't be that much. And many when I was telling like Puerto Ricans or other Americans, when I said to them this is way more expensive than London, they were shocked. But honestly, it is. We're dealing with almost 17% inflation, but it's still nowhere close to some of those prices. So I just had to get that off my chest because I was shocked. Yeah, I was absolutely shocked. And there's some astonishing statistics as well about how a lot of Americans are really struggling and, going to the food banks and this, that, and the other. And I can see why. They might not be saying it on the news, but there's no substitute for the lived experience. And when you see these things for yourself, then you know. Anyway, what else do I need to add? Please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. It really does help the channel. And I want to thank everyone as well in advance for all the donations and stuff that you've given, either on this show or other shows. Sometimes I don't get a chance to go through the whole list. So just saying, I really appreciate that. And it does help the channel. And if you can't donate or anything like that, just watch an ad. If it's a 20-minute ad, don't watch. It only needs to be 10 to 11 seconds, apparently, is the whatever. But just watch one. And that really does help support the channel. And it's a way of being able to kind of support the channel without, feeling that pressure. We don't want anyone to feel pressure to donate, especially in these times. What else do I want to say? Thanks for all the feedback on my Taylor Swift video. You guys are really enjoying that. I think the next one I'm going to do is Tina Turner. Yeah, I think I might do Tina Turner, but someone also asked me, maybe I should do Jada Smith. Wouldn't that be an interesting one? A lot of funkiness going on there. What else do I have to read off my list here? Now I'm going to talk about comfort versus courage. Comfort versus courage. Why am I saying that? Because as we all know, it's like the whole world is going crazy at the moment, isn't it? It's like the whole world is going absolutely crazy. The stuff in Palestine, happening in Palestine and Israel is just horrific. There's no other word for it. It's just horrific. Those that were abducted, you know, they've had horrible stuff done to them, babies beheaded. And then on the other side, you know, being bombed to smithereens, starved out, no electric, water, blah, blah, blah. And it's just this vengeance, And as you know, I've been talking about Pluto, of course, in sidereal Capricorn, and we're going to address a Pluto question right at the end. So what I do for comfort, what do I do for comfort? When it comes to comfort, if I really want a bit of comfort, then I will sit down and I will watch Ina Garten cooking. Yeah. I was just watching her, what was it? It was Ina Garten's skillet roast lemon and herb chicken. Yeah. Which is really cool. You know, she's got a very comforting voice and stuff like that. And if I'm feeling naughty, then of course I'll watch Nigella. Yeah. But I always say as well, if the zombie apocalypse ever comes, folks, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm going to get a big tub of salted caramel ice cream. And I'm just going to watch the Golden Girls as it all either blows up or, you know, whatever. Because at the end of the day, we all know the soul is immortal. However, on a more serious note, one thing, and as you know, I'm always going to weave in a little bit of humor there, no matter how dark it is. But on a more serious note, I will say this is a time for humanity where we are going to have to cultivate our courage. Courage. And of course, courage is being able to face your fears and do whatever's required anyway, because we really are at a serious inflection point. And there is a lot of darkness that we've seen that is rising up since, of course, Pluto entered sidereal Capricorn on basically 31st of December to 1st of January. But basically 1st of January 2021. And we all know what happened 5 days later. Yeah, we had the insurrection. And since then, it's been a tailspin, hasn't it? It really, really has. And now we're getting to the real intensity of what is going on in the world. So I've taken your questions and I'm going to be weaving them into the show. And of course, I'm going to be starting with some funny things as well. One thing that I want to add here, which I was going to read you the whole notes, but you know what? It's too much. It's too much. And what I want to say is this, is that the dam of silence will break. And spring is arriving in Narnia. Spring is arriving in Narnia. And tomorrow, and I might try and see if I can address it on Hogely on Saturday, but tomorrow, a British politician in Parliament is going to make one of the most important speeches in his whole life. And it's going to be talking about things in UK, about excess deaths and stuff like that. If you want to know more about it, then I've put a link in the video description below. Because we're seeing huge tectonic shifts happening in the world. And when we start getting into 2024, particularly the spring, summer of 2024, a lot of myths and a lot of illusions are going to be dispelled. I have spoken about this before. Remember, I tried to make my Neptune video and he kiboshed the video. Well, once he moved into sidereal Pisces in February of this year, he lifted that block. but I'm still not showing the video yet. I'm going to let the wheel of time turn more, because it has to turn further for people to get it. Yeah, the penny is dropping, but it has to turn further. More has to emerge in order for a consensus to arrive, because we are upon the cusp of a great awakening, folks. And don't say that lightly. Yeah, humanity is upon the cusp of a great awakening, and it's going to be really kicking in 2024, 2025. Many perceptions and stuff like that will shift, and some of it is going to be very difficult. You know, I'm just being honest there. As you know, I'm hardcore. Listen, you know, I'm a good person, but you know, I've got Pluto conjunct the sun, Cassimi. Yeah, so it means being prepared to peer into the shadows and accept some of the realities that are there. But at the same time, we also have to acknowledge that it's all a bit too much. I mean, for me, even I have backed off from a lot of the stuff that is happening, you know, in Gaza and Israel, because it's just too gruesome. And I don't know about you guys, let me know in the comments as well, but I've been finding it so difficult to get to sleep. So difficult to get to sleep, because as you know, many of you are empaths. I'm no different as well, even though my style might be very different. But that energy, and especially I feel it even more now being in the UK, because I'm that much closer to, of course, the Middle East. I mean, of course, you know, I'm still far from the Middle East, but it's closer than when I was in Puerto Rico, where there was the Atlantic Ocean in between. Yeah, you know, I was able to feel that distance. Now I'm here in the UK. Oh my God, the heaviness. So let me know as well if you guys have been feeling similar as well, and just this darkness in the world. However, there is also the alchemy and the transformation. And we also need to talk about Sidney Powell. Yeah, we need to talk about Sidney Powell. She's there as one of the questions as well. Because remember what I said, as you know, I said on the 22nd of October, 2023, I said stuff was going to get really bad for Trump. Do you remember I was saying, I said, we will start to see the wheels come off. As October has progressed, we've seen how challenging it is. And I said the solar eclipse is going to be very difficult for Trump. And we've seen it was on the 14th. But remember, it's not that exact day. Do you remember I said there's this window of a month, and it might be a day this side, a day that side. So the solar eclipse happened, which of course deals with leaders and stuff like that. The solar eclipse happened on October 14th. Today is October 19th, and she's basically admitted guilt. So we go into that question in a minute, which of course is terrible for Duck L'Orange. But let's not forget the lunar eclipse is on the way soon as well. And that's going to be happening on the 28th. And that's going to be happening in Aries. And remember what I said? I said that's going to be more challenging for Biden. So we need to watch out. Remember, Saturn is testing both men, both. Yeah, with the aspects. So if you're not sure, go back and look at that video. We are in truly historic times and an inflection point. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting to go so deep into this. It's just pouring out of me, but it's true. It is true. We are humanity. We have to make the choice. We have to choose those higher realms. We can't stay in all of this hatred, murder, rape and pillage, exploitation, price gouging, corporate greed and kleptocracy. And then you've got all of the hidden douchebags who I call the invisibles, who are like pulling strings on everything, trying to basically enslave the whole world. Do you know what I mean? There is so much going on, but this is part of that alchemy, that difficulty, that composting you've heard me talk about with Pluto. This is why it's so difficult, folks. But within that as well, remember, this is also turning the lead into gold. There is still choice. We don't have to comply with what maybe with what is already being proposed and what is already being basically put forward coming down the pike. Just you wait until the CBDCs, you know, the central bank digital currencies and this, that, and the other, programmable money that expires, so you can't save and blah. honestly, I mean, I've held back on a lot of it, but it's now we're seeing that wheel of time is now turning, and we're seeing the results. And now we're seeing the results of things. I can be more candid. I can share more truth with you with stuff that I've been seeing for years. And I've had to be like that. But now it's starting to happen. Anyway, I don't want to get too doomsday on you. Let's have a bit of humor, a bit of levity, and then we're going to actually start the show. So thank you. You're all piling in. God, 235 of you already. All right. So this is about laughs. Yeah. Now again, quoting from the book, funniest quotations to to brighten every day. So let's keep this humor in our hearts, even in the shadow of darkness. Anyway. So someone said, common sense and a sense of humor are the same thing, moving at different speeds. A sense of humor is just common sense dancing. Isn't that beautiful? And that's from William James. The next one here is, if you want to make an audience laugh, you dress a man up like an old lady and push him down the stairs. But if you want to make comedy writers laugh, you push an actual old lady down the stairs. I'm sorry. That's wicked, but I'm sorry. Sorry, forgive me if there's old ladies there, but I'm sorry, that did make me tickle. And to finish here, this is a very wise one. Against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand. Mark Twain. Part of the reason why the world is as it is because too many people are taking a lot of the BS too seriously. Imagine if the GOP had just laughed Duck LaRange out of the shop with the absurdities. Not even necessarily even with all the failed impeachments, but imagine if they were just like, yeah, but no, took him seriously. And in a way, we do have to take him seriously now because he's so infiltrated, he's so part of the miasma of the funk of planet Earth. But what is even more incredible is what is being revealed. Those that have been enabling and supporting. Look at this douchebag, Jockstrap Jordan. Yeah, Jim Jockstrap Jordan. Is he on the third vote now? Has he managed to get it? I don't know. I've not had a chance to check. When we pulled the cards on Hogerly on Saturday, it didn't look like he would get it, but I think he's on his third attempt now. Shows you how craven these people are, how craven they are. How many times does he have to fail before he's going to give up? Is he going to try and do a McCarthy and go for like 15 votes? That should never be allowed. I'm having a proper rant now, aren't I? Why is it not 3 strikes, you're out? You can try 3 times, and if you don't succeed on the third, why should anyone be allowed to try 15 to all this BS we see everywhere? It's bullshit. It is. I'm just going to say, it's utter bullshit, and we need to start calling it for what it is. Trump needs to be called a traitor. That's what he is. Yeah, and all of that kind of stuff, this massive coup where we obviously we can't expect anything from Fox, but we also need to look at the other, the mainstream legacy media as well. Why are they still holding this guy up like he's got a chance, like he's in contention? I've shared a clip from Midas Touch, where, as you know, many of you watch Midas Touch, and I think quite a few of you are independents as well, but they've done that full scoop on the Sidney Powell thing. Everything has to change. It has to change. Illusions must be shattered and broken in order that humanity can truly wake up to the sheer levels of manipulation that have been going on. But anyway, let me begin. Let's see who's joined me tonight. Sorry, folks, I wasn't expecting that. It was all pent up. Anyway, so let's see here. So I can see Angela's laughing, and she must be laughing at Jim Jockstrap Jordan, because anyway, that's where he is. Also got some laughs here as well. So who's here? My Buttercup, Mojo. Oh, Mojo's saying, look at this. He stepped down. Excellent. He gave up. Good. Good. The SOB. Good. We did, like I said, we did that reading. Remember, we pulled cards for Jim Jordan, and the cards said no, that he wasn't going to win. There was another guy, something Allen, I think it was. I think neither Lady G or I had even heard of, so we don't know about him. He could be a wild card. And remember, what was it called? Hakeem Jeffries got the best cards in that pool. Now, someone said, well, he's never going to get in and whatever, but, you know, I'm not saying that he necessarily will, but his cards were excellent, and he obviously scored consistently more than Jim Jordan, who, from what I understand, his numbers started to retreat and go backwards. So do you see, and do you remember what I was saying with the timing with Trump? I said he's going to reach a point where his friends will no longer be able to help him, or they're even going to turn on him, because it's, remember, on the 22nd of October, today's the 19th, on the 22nd of October, K2 starts driving the car, so to speak, of Trump's soul. And I said it's going to be what? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're seeing already. Sidney Powell has admitted guilt. Like, she's going to testify against them. He is done. He is done. And, you know, some people have been like, oh, well, Trump might be president. And you've heard me say, I said it would take a miracle. I said it would take a miracle or a great act of evil for him to be able, because it is just stacking up and stacking up. And with Sidney Powell basically admitting guilt, then what? What are the GOP going to say about that? What are Fox News going to say about that? Now she's admitted guilt, and she's going to have to do written apology. I think 6 years probation, or, you know, whatnot. Imagine all the other ones that are going to start flipping. That means his case could come even quicker. Let me tell you, once K2 starts doing a number on someone, and that person is not living a spiritual life or trying to help others or working on their own spiritual development or what have you, when K2 decides to take stuff away, that's why I call him snip snip. Some people would get scissors. Trump could get the chainsaw. He really could. He could get the chainsaw. Anyway, but I'm glad that Jim Jockstrap stepped down. Even this goes to even show, even for the GOP, he was a ridiculous choice, because they'll be basically saying, well, yeah, well, we'll just all be Nazis, or, you know, or something like that. So I'm glad there was still some vestiges of no, I can't say it. It's too rude. Let's just say there was a bum crumb of sanity left enough for them not to do it. And also as well, he was threatening their wives. I mean, come on. How is this acceptable? He should be struck off. Should be struck off, immediately step down. You should not be able to do that and still keep your job. How can you threaten the family of your colleagues in order to try and get them to vote for you to be House Speaker? Like, yeah, that's going to work. God, what an absolute imbecile. Anyway, I really am having a rant. I really am having a rant. But there's so much going on. There's so much intensity. And we know, look, I've got Mars in the first house, so I'm very passionate. Anyway, this question has come in from Manuela Orchid, and she's asked, Dear Hoagie, hope you had a nice holiday. Yes, I did. It was scorching hot, but you know what? My body loved it. I didn't like it mentally, but my body loved the heat. And anyway, and it was beautiful. Anyway, hope you had nice holidays. I just have this question. If there will be a peace plan between Israel and Palestine. And she goes on to say, I laid cards for it, but I wonder what you get. So let's have a look. Let's have a look, see. Oh, just the, you know, the horror. Just the horror. I don't even need to see the pictures. And I understand there have been very graphic pictures that have been circulating, and the media, of course, has not spared anyone. And it can be very traumatizing, you know. It's be careful, guys. Be careful what you watch, because once those images are in your mind, it's very difficult to get them out. And from what I understand, the media has been very explicit, and I've had to avoid quite a bit of that because I'm you know, as rambunctious as I am and naughty as I am at times, I am very, very sensitive to stuff like that. That's why I can't even watch horror films anymore. They impact on my psyche for too long. And if I'm seeing chopped up bodies and reading accounts of all of the horror and the abductions and goodness knows what has been done to those people, and now they're all, the kids of Palestine are starving and the Israeli kids are in the bunkers. It's just horrible. It's just horrible all round. But let's see, will there be a peace deal? So forgive me if I'm not completely up to date on all of this. I did have the mercy of my birthday trip to kind of interrupt the full horrors for me. But let's see, will Israel and Palestine have a peace deal? I bloody hope so, because it can't carry on like this, can it? All right, let's have a look, see. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Let's move this over here. Will Israel and Palestine be able to reach a deal? We'll have to see. If the Two of Cups turns up, stuff like that, or things to do like Four of Wands or the like, then there'll be a chance. But if we see a lot of swords, then it's going to be challenging. Let's see. As you know, I select with my eyes closed. Well, at least partially closed. I need to see where my hand is going. All right. That's quite promising. Strength. Yeah. Well, okay. All right, folks. There's a good chance. There's a chance. There's a chance. If we look here we see the Six of Pentacles. So of course, look, we can understand who this is. You know, these are these are probably the Palestinians down here, isn't it? And so I think international aid is trying to get through. From what I understand, I think some of it has been blockaded. But let me know in the comments or whatever, because remember, I'm not fully up to date, and I've been glad to kind of be away from it. But that's the latest I heard. So I think this, of course, is about benevolence. It's about aid. But this can also talk as well about collaboration, maybe some kind of deal being offered, because as you see, the money is being dropped in here, dropped to the people that are in need. So obviously those that are the innocent civilians in Gaza, because remember, they're not all Hamas, you know, you've just got a lot of people there who just absolutely cooped up in a tiny place, which has obviously been bombed to you know what. So there might be some international element there to try and help some of the citizens of Gaza, but this also is representing Israel as well, because Israel is also going to be receiving funding as well, I think from the UK and from America and stuff like that. So we see money changing hands. Obviously, Israel is going to get a much bigger support from what I understand from America. But maybe there might be some, I'm hoping there's going to be some support as well for the innocent Palestinians. All right. Look, though, in the obstacle position in the 5-card spread, the second card can be seen as an obstacle. Here we have the strength card. Now, this is very interesting because we can consider this card reversed. And guess what? So when it's the right way up, you see here the woman is in control of the lion. And this is about a person having a lot of self-control, a lot of internal resources, a lot of strength, to go forward. However, when it's reversed, as this is the case because it's in the obstacle position, this can deal with barbarism, literally bestiality, beastly behaviors, which is what we've seen, isn't it? We've seen some astonishing barbarism coming from all different directions, either bombs or the beheadings or, it's just been gross. Yeah, so we can see this is the obstacle. So we see spirit is in tune. If we look here, of course, everyone, the losses, the losses have been terrible. However, look, 2 cups remain standing. So in the context of the peace deal, it shows that there might still be the last vestiges of something left there. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at a genocide. You know, on one hand, you know, with Hamas, that was the pogrom, and then on the other hand, we could be looking at a genocide. This could get really, you know, really dark, especially with Pluto squaring Mars. If we look here, though, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be difficult. No one's going to like the offers that are on the table. You know, the Palestinians may not, or Hamas, whoever they're going to be negotiating, they may not like what's on the table. Likewise for Israel as well. This is also as well could represent Netanyahu, who is of course in an almighty pickle, because on one hand, the war has got him out of a very difficult situation because people were protesting. Yeah, people were protesting against him. Remember, they wanted him out. There was a lot of heat. The Hamas attack, of course, has unified the country, but there are still murmurings. People are still talking because they're like, well, it kind of happened on his watch. And I think maybe when this is over, people might really start asking serious questions about Bibi. Yeah, they might really. I think they already are, but such is the intensity of the trauma, everyone has to kind of unite. But I'm sure there are those deeper questions coming down the road. However, if we look here for the outcome, we get the victory card. So what this suggests is that maybe after difficult negotiation, yeah, you know, obviously there's money changing hands. This also as well, this could be like Iran funding Hamas, or, you know, Putinesca, you know, it could be, it goes both ways. Yeah, it goes both ways. There was the bestiality that happened, if we imagine this in the reverse position. Lots of loss, but still 2 cups left standing. Negotiations may happen, but no one's really going to like what's on the table, but they're going to have to deal with it. And ultimately a victory with the 6 of Wands. So I think it's going to take a while, but I would hope the cards do seem to suggest that there is hope of a deal. So I hope that gives you guys hope. It certainly does for me, because it just can't carry on like this. It just cannot. Well, you know, humanity, we have to come together with all this barbarism. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. Anyway, let's see who's in. So Midas touch is superb. That's what some people are saying. Oh, I think there's a little Annie Hamlet. Thank you so much for your donation. That is so kind. And Mojo. And I said, I'm glad you saw the message. Astrology always prevails. Yeah, there we are. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the support. Let's also scroll down, because obviously while I've been gassing and venting like Mount Vesuvius, I feel like I've been one of those volcanoes, you know, before it erupts, you know, you get the sulfuric gases coming out the mouth. Let's see here. Oh, wait, what's someone saying here? GOPers don't want to meet with Jordan. He's still in the mix. Oh, slightly conflicting things in the results. But I mean, people are saying that he stepped down, so I'm going to go with that. But correct me if I'm wrong. I've not been able to follow the news, you know. Oh, what this says here. So Joanna Frank is saying, Washington refusing to drop out. Republican Rep Chip Jordan told GOP colleagues Thursday he will back a temporary U.S. House Speaker as he works to shore up support to win the gavel himself. Oh my God. Honestly, these people, they are like bad smells. So let's see. Some in the comments say he stepped down. And then, of course, we had the comment there from Joanne. So I'm not sure. Obviously, I've not been able to see for myself. So you guys let me know. Obviously, keep giving me the feedback. Is he still in the mix? Is he not? But either way, it seems he's been foiled for now. Let's see here. Oh, look, someone's saying they are supposed to vote again, possibly tomorrow. This is very interesting. Jordan needs to be suspended. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that this guy can even still have a job. Oh, let's see here. Spirit readings. Hoagie said, I asked Spirit to give me a dream message to help me with the stress. They showed me Steve Coogan as Alan Partridge. So we all need to not to take this. Yes, yeah. We still have to laugh. And you know what? I'm not laugh at the situation. Of course not. We know that is an absolute travesty. But we still need to make sure you watch your comedy. Yeah, make sure you watch your comedy. Watch some of your favorite programs. Laugh and joke with each other, with your friends, with your family. Try and forgive little slights and mishaps and stuff like that, because we know in the end, you know, it's not worth it. If there's one thing that the situation with Israel and Palestine, it really does put a lot of things into perspective, doesn't it? And we can count our blessings and just send the love and the light and just hope for healing and everything like that in these really challenging times. Let's see here. Someone's saying, yeah, I never could watch horror films. I mean, I could when I was younger, but I had to stop at Stigmata. Once I saw, which was, I think it was Rosanna Arquette or something like that, or Patricia Arquette, one of the sisters. And that was a film where I was just like, and when I watched The Ring, ooh, when that girl crawled out of the TV, like I was done. I was done with horror films from that point. I know that's a while ago, but you know what I mean? Stays in the mind. Let's see what Sonia's saying. The media does not care about the psychological impact of the gruesome images they show, and I have never watched horror movies. I'm too sensitive and it seeps into my brain. Yeah. And they really need to be careful. They've been showing a lot of blood and gore from what I understand, and it's a bit much, you know, it's a bit much. And it's been very difficult even for the soldiers and stuff. I mean, they've been in tears. I mean, it's just, my goodness. All right. Okay, look, if we look here, Glenda Miles says, CNN reporting Jim is still in. So it's not done yet, folks. I mean, of course, you know, a little terrapin like that, you know, he's like the turd that won't flush, you know. Anyway, let's see what else is here. Okay, that seems to be up to date with the comments. What's this? Oh, thank you, Joanna. Or Joanne. I keep calling you Joanna. Joanne, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Someone's saying here, Washington is too much. And then someone's saying, inflation is much higher in other countries and Americans should be thankful that Biden is running the country and not Trump. Well, yeah, obviously, but I've just come from America. Remember, I've just come from America. And let me tell you, hand on heart, the price is way more expensive than here in London. I know my pocketbook. I can count and I can do the exchange rate. So we need to take certain things with a pinch of salt, because let me tell you, the inflation is, we've got bad inflation, but I was genuinely shocked at how much stuff costs in the US. And of course, you know, there's issues in other places, but I doubt it's at 5% inflation. Let's just put it that way. I doubt very much it's at 5%. Someone's saying here, Mojo, he came back. What's this here? They have another vote. I hope more GOP vote against him. Oh, so look at that. He's so thirsty, isn't it? Desperate. Right, let's move on to the next question. Otherwise, I won't get through them all. Let me just see. I'll make sure I'm being all good. Here we are. So this is coming from Teresa Cosgrove. Will the people who are threatening members of Congress to vote for Jim Jordan get in legal trouble? My instinct would be no, but let's see what the cards have to say. Oh, I feel like I need a different deck. Let's go to. Oh, I'm going to use Lena's deck. Yeah, I've not used her deck for a while. I'm going to use Lena's deck. The One World Tarot, of course, as you guys will know. Beautiful card set. Let's ask that. Let's ask. So well done as well. Very nice little box there. All right. Will the Congress vote for Jim? Will the people who are threatening members of Congress to vote for Jim get in any legal trouble? Let's have a look. Do this on Lena's deck. All right. Will they get into any legal trouble? My instinct is no, but let's see what Spirit says. Wow. Oh, maybe. All right. If we look here, look what this is about. Remember that this is the lovers, yeah? So this deals with partners, spouses, deals, and all of that kind of stuff. The wives were getting threatened. So there you are. Spirit is obviously completely dialed in. 5 of Cups turns up. So, of course, much upset. People, it's so unsavory and so unseemly, particularly for what should be a democratic institution where how is he even being allowed to get back into the ring to have another go after it is emerged that people had their wives threatened? But anyway, so that's sort of like the upset and the tumult of it, obviously in the obstacle position there. It's a balancing act. So we'll have to see. I would say it's 50-50. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Remember, this is the turbulent sea here. There's a lot going on in the world, and it could just be the case because they're struggling so much to have get a speaker. Obviously, Jim Jordan is trying to hold on with his tentacles, even though he's been voted down. And this is showing in many ways that almost like the chaos in the House, you can see the topsy-turvy seas trying to find a sense of balance. There could be an investigation. Yeah, there could be a deeper investigation if things calm down a bit. Yeah, because the Hermit is all about research, investigations and stuff like that. But really as well, this is also a house really needs to go within. They have to go within. And then the outcome card here is the Queen of Swords. So this could actually talk about some kind of legalities or something like that. Hopefully something a bit more sensible kind of coming down the pike, because I've not said it very much, but what I would say of Duck L'Orange in regards of if you're someone who is Putin, he is better than a bomb. Yeah, better than a bomb. Why? Why do I say that? If Putin bombed a part of the United States, what would it do? It would unite everyone. Yeah, it would unite everyone. However, what he's gone for, he's planted seeds. He's planted seeds and he's got people fighting from the inside out. So here, this is about rationality. Congress, they need to get their act together. And as I said before, they need to decide whether or not they are Americans or if they believe they should be in another country or not. They really need to make that choice because they are making America so vulnerable right now. Imagine there's no speaker. They can't pass any legislation. That means they can't pass anything for the bills, funding. You don't need me to tell you that. The American audience will well know, and the rest of the world pretty much knows now as well. So let's see. I would say that's a maybe, but don't hold your breath. Yeah, in terms of potential ramifications coming for those ne'er-do-wells. Right, let's get on to the next one. Oh, this is a question from coming in from Canada. Now, I've had to be careful with my Canadian. Do you remember how I'd have had a few scorching emails for some people when we did the Trudeau, which was an absurdity, of course, the Trudeau-Macron tryst allegation, but this has come in. This is very interesting, and I'm just going to read it as it is. So Dirt Farming asks, will Canadians rid themselves of Liberal government and its scandals? Very interesting. I don't know what those potential scandals could be. I really am not sure. We both know that Lena is a huge Trudeau fan, as you know, so I'm not going to be too rude. But as you know, I've always, and I'll just say it again, I'm going to have to be a bit cryptic, but there's a lot more to that man than meets the eye. I have seen his chart. No. Have I done his chart? No, I've seen Macron's chart. Maybe I should do his chart. But Trust me. There's a lot that is not known about that guy to the public, and that's all I'm going to say to that. And if that offends people, then so friggin' what? Because it's true, and I wouldn't say it if it's not true. And look how many things I've said that may have seemed a little bit risque at first that have transpired as truth. Honestly, there's a lot going on in Canada that a lot of people aren't aware of, but you have to go to other sources. You have to go to other sources. Anyway, I don't want to rant on too much. Will Canadians rid themselves of Liberal government and its scandals, of which I know not? I'm just going to trust the cards and see what they say. And don't shoot the messenger. I don't want any nasty emails from Canadians who are offended that I can even ask such a question. Simple as that. You just be blocked. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say. Let's have a look. See, let's see Wagwan. Well, look at that. Isn't that interesting? There is a lot more going on in Canada than we know. A lot more. Look at that in the middle. There's a lot more going on. All right, if we look here, seems like the government is trying to create some kind of equilibrium, a rebalancing, a recalibration, trying to get the alchemy, the chemistry going. Yeah. So it's like it's in the balance. There's alchemy at the moment. There's alchemy at the moment. If we look here in the next position here, we have the Eight of Wands, which of course normally means about, you know, things moving quickly, etc. But it has turned up in the obstacle position, which would suggest blocks. Yeah. So it could be that maybe within the populace, the people themselves want to change the alchemy of something and maybe feeling stymied or blocked. Yeah, because we can consider this card upside down. This is also a card of business and commerce as well. So there might be also things going on with the economy that maybe the wider world isn't aware of. But there are a lot of people within Canada that might be feeling stymied or blocked in some kind of way, which is maybe why they're wanting some kind of change. Yeah, there's a sense of restriction. Yeah, because this card, when it's the right way up, is all about speed, moving forward at great pace. And this, of course, will be the opposite, suggesting people are feeling stymied or restrained in some kind of way. So maybe we're not getting to hear certain voices. Let's put it that way, because the giveaway here is the middle card. You remember that, and in the middle card, all the other cards hang off of that. And what do we see? Heartbreak, betrayal, upset, emotional hurt. So it seems like there are a lot of people in Canada that are emotionally hurting, and they're not pleased with what? The Hierophant, which is the government. I mean, it couldn't be more clear, could it? Couldn't be more clear, because it's coming next to the government. So there is a sense of maybe there's some kind of new orthodoxy or new ways of doing things, that there's something that's upsetting people, but maybe we in the wider world might not be fully aware of the permutations of it, because A, there is only so much news that we can watch. B, the whole world feels like it's literally going to hell in a handbasket. And do you know what I mean? Things get lost. Things get lost, and I can only go on the cards. And if we look here, the outcome card here is the Page of Swords. So again, this can be what sharp, remember, pages are all about messages. And there's over 400 of you now. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. Remember, pages are all about messages. So this could be sharp words, dialogue, maybe even a bit of conflict. Maybe, could this even be a little bit of protest in regards to the government? Now, we know that they crushed the last one. I think they literally just stopped everybody's money. Do you remember when they switched off everyone's PayPal or something like that? Anyway, but you never know. But this looks like maybe there could be harsh words there. So either way, it seems we from the outside looking in from what I understand, the perception of Canada has always been very polite, calm, friendly place. I used to have a couple of Canadian friends that lived in London. They told me all about Canada, and it seemed like a little idyll. But it seems things have changed. I don't know enough to be able to understand what those things are. I only read the cards, as you know. And like I say, don't shoot the messenger. And if you're Canadian, you don't like it, what can I do? Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get to question number 4. God, I need to hurry up. There's only 10 minutes left. Oh my God, I forgot. This is an RFK question. All right, so Dorothy M has asked, what will RFK's impact on because he's obviously the Kennedy guy with the constricted voice. What will his impact on the 2024 election be as an independent? Thank you. Fair question. Fair question. I don't have any opinion on it. Let's just see what the cards have to say. And this is also as well that addition as well, that Pluto in Capricorn. Remember, Pluto is a Capricorn, deals with what? Government, distribution systems, big pharma, big companies, top-down structures, you know, distribution systems, infrastructure, stuff like that. So of course, with Pluto here, it means a change to those things. So you might see new characters emerging or upsetting the apple cart, so to speak. But from 2024, you're going to see even more, because that's when that Pluto return becomes exact, pretty much. I think it's around March, something like that. Probably when Duck Larange is on trial. Funny that. All right, RFK, will he impact the election as an independent? Let's see what Spirit has to say. Juicy questions, guys, very juicy. Let's have a look. And there was that woman as well. I mean, I think her campaign's been shot to bits, but the one that's into the bit of woo-woo and stuff like that, which is refreshing. Oh dear. Oh, the Tower. How interesting. Look at all this major arcana. Well. Okay, right. I think I know what this means. First thing is, what was it? What will RFK or JFK, RFK's impact on the 2024 election? What impact on the 2024 election as an independent? Maybe not worded quite right, but look, the Tower. So maybe he could make an impact, but who is it a disaster for? Yeah, is it a disaster for the Dems, or is it a disaster for the GOP? I'm not sure which. But here, so there is either way. There could be some bombastic stuff that comes out. Remember, I said to you guys, we need to get ready. You need to cultivate courage. This is talking about the 2024 election. I mean, it's going to be a humdinger. I mean, you don't have to be a psychic or a tarot reader or an astrologer to know that. But I mean, just in case we weren't sure, there it is. Yeah. Now, if we look here, the Emperor has turned up here. Now, of course, the Emperor deals with patriarchy, leadership, etc. But you'll notice as well, look, it is the elder statesman, but it's turned up in the obstacle position. So we know that there are two. Now, obviously, people might think saying Trump is a statesman is a little bit of a, whatever. But, he was the president. But, of course, the other one is Biden. But look, matured, you see, this is the man with the white beard. It represents the elder statesman, and the Tower card has come up next to there. So he could be impactful upon both. Maybe he splits the vote or something. Look who's in the middle. The moon. Nothing is clear by moonlight. So this shows there could be a lot of machinations. There could be a lot of things coming out left field. You see here how the lobster is coming out. But also as well, what we need to remember with the moon is that the goal is to walk between the two pillars of truth. I think they're the pillars of truth. So there's going to be lots of, I think, obviously, with the election, there's going to be lots of allegations that the election was stolen and all of this kind of whoever, if they're not all locked up by that time. Now, what we've got to remember is everything joins together. Sidney Powell today, just 3 days out of when K2 starts driving the sole car for Duck Larange. What we need to understand is that changes a lot of things. That changes a lot of trajectories, because she's going to be giving testimony and stuff like that. And like I said, it will take a miracle or an act of profound evil to for Trump to become president again. And I'm sticking with that. Here we are. The Eight of Wands. It actually came out reverse. So again, there could be delays. Obviously, there's going to be delays, of course, in the election. Because it's like he's like a wild card that's come in. But look, then we see a secure new leader at the end. So who is this King of Pentacles referring to? Is it referring to Biden? Is it referring to Trump? Highly unlikely, especially with Sidney Powell's confession. Or is this RFK? We'll have to see. That's all I can do is read the cards. If that offends people, then I'm sorry. What can I do? It's Pluto return now. We need to start talking nitty gritty. And I'm kind of a bit tired of feeling censored and, and people kind of, not wanting to discuss certain people, and we just need to get over it. We need to discuss everything now. Everything needs to be discussed. It's a Pluto return. This doesn't happen very often. This happens only once every 244 to 48 years. This is not the time. We need to really face shadow and start pulling up some weeds and having some more freedom. Particularly, there's so much censorship on here, guys. You have no idea. You have no idea how much they censor stuff on here, and it would shock a lot of people to know. And I just think us YouTubers, we need to be a little bit more honest about that. And there is a lot of fear around that as well, because a lot of people's channels have been crushed, for really not much. But anyway, here we are. Pearl Ruby asks, hi Hogarth, now that Sidney Powell has pleaded guilty today, October 19th, 2023, and will receive 6 years probation, numerous fines. I think she's been, what was she charged? What did I put on the notes? She got charged $2,500 as well in restitution and $6,000 in for a basic fine. I mean, it will barely touch the sides for her, but nonetheless, it's good that she's been fined. And she will have to provide a letter of apology, providing she testifies truthfully in all upcoming trials with the remaining defendants. How is the monster feeling now? Well, Pearl Ruby, of course, is referring to Duck Larange. And I would say this, he is probably feeling absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I can virtually guarantee it. Because now she's flipped, the others are probably going to flip. Because obviously, what would you prefer? Probation or tons of years in jail? And this could really be the death knell for him in terms of, because she has to confess it all. She's going to be laying out the dirty laundry, the skid marks, the this, the everything. She's going to be laying out everything. And she's admitted to her role in the conspiracy. So no one can say anymore that it's not true. Yeah, so all of those people are going to be getting a card side slap as well. They need to wake up and stop their BS. Anyway, God, I'm really fiery tonight. Sorry, guys, if I'm offending anyone, but I'm just tired of all of the, this is not the time. Pluto return is no joke. All right. How is Duck Larange feeling? Let's see what Spirit has to say. Wouldn't be surprised if I see the 9 of Swords turn up. Right, how's he feeling with Sidney Powell's guilty plea? Yeah. now becoming crispy duck l'orange. Ooh, na na na, duck l'orange. Oh my, there. 9 of Swords. All right, here we go. I was gonna have one more question, but you know what? I think I'll save it for Hogely tomorrow. And that was, who was that? That was Nicola McClafferty. I'll ask your question on Hogely tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Saturday. Anyway, look at this. Look how delusional this man is. He's like, I can still do it. I can still make it. I'm a contender. Yeah. This is him, and we also understand this to be the wider GOP as well. How often does this card come up? The 10 of Cups. So he's still thinking somewhere it could be sunny uplands, or maybe that's how he felt up until today. What's the obstacle card? Oh dear. Cold blade of the law is coming for him. This is Jack Smith. This is, you know, Fannie Willis, all of them wrapped into one. Yeah, law here. In the middle is the victory card. He still believes somehow if he can hold on that he can win. Shows you how deluded the guy is, how deluded he is. But look at the next card here. It's the Fool. Yeah, so all of the folly, all of his recklessness. Now, as I said, as K2 snip gets stronger, his friends are no longer going to be able to defend him. Mercury has been able to protect him for a long time, but the grip is loosening. Now he's literally going to be going, what? Quite literally off the cliff, and all of the foolishness of what he's done, because he's been caught on tape, of course. If we look here, the final outcome, immense worry, nightmares, sleepless nights. He knows that he is in an absolute pickle. So I think before she made that statement, he still felt like he could make it. But really, I think there's going to be a lot of regret at his foolishness. But the outcome card here is the 9 of Swords. So it's woe and worry. And he needs to jump on a plane before it's too late if he's going to stand any chance, because I think they're going to absolutely throw the book at him. And with Sidney Powell confessing, you know, that's it. Anyway, let's leave it there. The hour has gone in an absolute flash. I think about 20 minutes of it was my rant. So forgive me. And if any Canadians have been offended, what can I do? Yeah. Including as well with RFK. I just read the questions. And some people, we need to really stop getting too contributing to the acid. Yeah. Contributing to the acid of it all. Anyway, so I'll just read some comments before I go. So it says, yep, Putin adores Trump. He's totally got him in his pocket. He just flatters him, and he's given all sorts of secrets and support. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's just see here. Let's see here. What is it called? Since Puerto Rico is an island, prices may be even higher than in the US mainland. And we know they are high here. True. Yeah, it's a good point. But remember, I did go through New York as well. And don't forget, I talk to my clients. Most of you, I mean, you're from all over the world, but most of you are based in America, and they tell me from all the different states that they're in. So it's an issue. It's an issue. And I'm not just saying that to be like, oh, no, I've got my own experience, but also the experience of my clients who tell me the prices. They tell me the prices, and they tell me how much stuff has gone up. And I get that from all over the states. So obviously some places there's a little bit less inflation, obviously. Other places it's, you know, a bit off the charts. Anyway, let's see here. Patricia saying hello to everyone. Thank you. Nice to see you. Let's see. I think I will leave it. There. Otherwise, it's just going to go on for too long. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. Much appreciated. And of course, if you'd like a consultation with me, then you can visit the Archetypal Blueprint. Well, it says the Archetypal Blueprint, but it's Hogarth Global Astrology. And of course, you can book with me. Many of you have. So get in before, you know, things sell out as time goes along. Thank you as well for all of the support and being here in the comments and stuff like that. I know I was a bit ranty today, but I had to get a lot off my chest. I've been holding a lot in. Thank you as well for the donations and everything like that. I will see you guys, of course, on Hogely. So watch out for that. And Nicola, remind me in the comments again to ask your question again where you were asking about Pluto. I will leave it there. Thank you, everyone. Much love. And don't forget the humor. If in doubt, get a tub of ice cream and watch the Golden Girls. All right. I will leave it there. Goodbye for now. Much love.